Hello 8th grade parents. We want to give you a quick tour of our Eagle Bluff website and some of the forms that you're going to be filling out for the Eagle Bluff field trip this year. First, we'd like to thank our sponsors, the Imagine Foundation and Spectra Alloys. So up on top here we have a couple different tabs for you to go through. There is an informational video that explains what Eagle Bluff is, some of the classes they'll be taking down there, and just some of the basics that you'll need for the trip. On the Forms tab, we have copies of all of the forms that your students will be receiving today and hopefully bringing home to you tonight. So we have the cover letter, we have a planning form that you need to fill out online for your child. So I'm going to walk you through the planning form really quick. So this is just for us to collect some information. So we're going to type in my child's name, my name for a demo. And the very last thing on this page is your option to select a half for your child to go to Eagle Bluff. So you have three options here. You can go either half, where we kind of use your child to balance out the number of kids attending. So if your schedule's open, they can go either half. That's really helpful for us. You can go select either Monday to Wednesday or Wednesday to Friday. So say you have a wedding that you need to go to and you're leaving early on Friday, and you want your son or daughter to go on Monday to Wednesday, you can select that. When we go to the next screen, it's going to have you give a reason. So maybe we say we have a wedding, maybe they're in a varsity sport and they have a meet or a game on Thursday night, so they have to go the first half of the week. That would be an option. Typically we're able to honor all of the requests. So when we hit next here, there's a chance for you to sign up to be a chaperone. A couple things that you need to know about being a chaperone. We will have to have you do a background check. We ask that you're in good physical health. There's quite a bit of walking down at Eagle Bluff. And the cost of a chaperone is the same as the student fee. Also, we can't really guarantee any chaperone placements. It kind of depends on how many chaperones we have signed up. If we have a ton of parents sign up to be a chaperone, what we typically do is draw names out of a hat. We'll try to take as many parents down as we can. We're limited to a space a little bit because of the dorm rooms. So if I select yes, that I want to be a chaperone, same type of thing. It's going to ask for your contact information again, or maybe a grandparent is free and they'd like to go with their child. We've had that happen in the past too. So we can say parent, and then we would type in an email, and then it's going to ask for a phone number so we know who to contact. And then now we have our code of conduct. These are the rules that we are having you abide by, or your students abide by, when we're down there. If there are any violations of the code of conduct, if they're very serious, the administration that's down at Eagle Bluff with us will make that decision. They'll call home, keep you informed. If it's a big enough violation, they may ask that you come down and pick up your child. Hopefully that doesn't happen and we have a great trip. But read through these with your son or daughter. Down at the bottom there's a spot for you to sign, and then a spot for your child to sign as well. Then when you're done, hit submit, and then we can go back here. Eagle Bluff has a form for a liability waiver and some stuff about diets. So same type of thing here. We'll do a quick tour. They do have their form in a couple different languages for you as well. So just to make this, so if you're filling this out for your child, you're going to, this form is being filled out for a student. If you end up going down as a chaperone, you'd fill it out a second time and then select adult. And then you're going to put in their birthday. So let's do 10. We'll just throw in a date there. It's going to ask for your address. And city, state, and zip code. And then it's going to ask about dietary allergies. So if we have any allergies, Eagle Bluff does a really good job of making meals that are going to be safe for your children to eat. They are a peanut-free campus, so we don't typically have to worry about any peanut allergies. So say we are allergic to shellfish, you can provide more detail. If they have any cognitive or behavior concerns, you can put that stuff in there. They give some basic information to their naturalists that are teaching the classes when we're down there, just so they are aware of any behavior concerns or cognitive concerns that they may see in their groups. Medical conditions, so if they have any insect allergies, epilepsy, asthma, anything like that, they would like to know. And strenuous activities that are inherent part of Eagle Bluff experience. Participants may hike up hills, put weights on joints, carry equipment, or participate in high adventure ropes courses, canoeing, rock climbing. Please list any strenuous activities which you have concerns about. We do have options to get some golf carts down there. So if your son or daughter's injured or maybe has a hard time walking, we can use a golf cart to get them out to different places. Any medications, they just want to make sure they're aware of anything that's going to be on campus. And then it has your contact information on there, and then it will have your relationship, and then your phone number, and then if you want to put a second contact person in there. They also want to know if they have permission to use photos. Eagle Bluff is not out taking photos very often, but if they do and they get a great one, they'd like to share it on their website. And then here is the liability release and agreement. So you can read through that with your son or daughter. You can hit agree there. And participants for the age of under 18, you have to have them agree. And then if you're filling this out for yourself, you can do the bottom one. And then same thing, as you type your name in here and hit submit, that gives Eagle Bluff all the information they need to have your son or daughter on the Eagle Bluff campus. As far as the forms go, we have 3 different medical forms. I'm going to show you those. And we're going to start with the green form. This is a form that we need to have for every student down at Eagle Bluff. So you're going to have your child's first and last name up on top. You are going to have your contact information in the middle part here. List any medical or behavior concerns, any allergies or intolerances. We are going to have a nurse on staff down there to administer medications. We will have some over-the-counter medications down there, so if your son or daughter's down there and maybe they need some Benadryl or ibuprofen or Tylenol because they have a headache, cough drops, anything like that, you can check off the box of the things you want us to be able to give them without calling you. If you want us to give you a call anytime they try to get Tylenol or anything like that, you can check that box and the nurse will call before we give any medications. There are a couple other forms for other non-prescription and prescription medications that I'll show you. So if your child does not have any prescription medications, you can check this box, sign this off, and then you're really done with medical forms. If you have a non-prescription medication that you want your son or daughter to take down at Eagle Bluff, say they take melatonin at night to help them sleep, you can fill this form out, put in the name of the medication, the dose, the frequency that you want them to take it, what it's treating them for, and any special instructions you need. So you can do multiple ones on this one. Any of those medications you do need to provide, and then you'd put your signature on here, date it, phone number, and then check the box that says your child can bring medication home at the end of Eagle Bluff. Then we can send it home with them. We need all medications by November 3rd. If we go down to the last page, this one is going to be a pink medical form when they bring their packet home. This one again has their name on there, grade, birthday. The healthcare providers have seen this form before, so they know what to do. So if they have a prescription medication, their doctor has to sign off on it for us to be able to give them the medication. So they would list the medication, all of the information they need about it. And then same thing, you're going to put your name, date, sign it, and then authorize that you can have your child bring the medication home at the end of Eagle Bluff. We need a separate form for each prescription medication, so if you need another copy, have your son or daughter ask and we can send more copies home, or we do have it on the website that you can print it off. It doesn't have to be pink in color, but we need a separate form for every prescription medication that your son or daughter takes. Back to the website. The last step then is payment. You can send cash or check in to me, Mark Cernahouse, in room 170. If you want to pay online, that is also an option. We are going to have 3 payment options set up online. It is $150 for the field trip. So there will be a $150 option. There's going to be a $190 option, so if you don't want to receive any of the breaks that we are getting from the donations from Imagine Foundation or Spectrum Allies, you can pay the full $190, and then we would take that $40 that we would be saving from your student and we can pass it on to other students as far as scholarships. So if your family's able to and you're willing to do that, that would be great, but that's not an expectation. And then the third option is going to be an open space where you can type in an amount. So if you sold butter braids and have some of your trip covered already through your butter braid sales, Mr. Reuter or myself will send you an email letting you know what your balance is. You can type that balance in, submit your payment that way. Just know there is a $4% service charge on every online purchase. So if you want to avoid that, send cash or check in. Again, have your kids bring the checks and cash directly to me in room 170. And then if we scroll down a little farther, you can see we need completed medical forms and payment to me by October 28th. Meds need to be turned in to the nurse's office by November 3rd at noon. Our nurse needs time to get everything organized and ready to go for the trip. There's hopefully going to be a lot of 8th graders going down this year, and we need to get some paperwork done to let Eagle Bluff know how many kids are coming down and room assignments and a bunch of other stuff behind the scenes. So we need to have those forms by October 28th. There is a packing list up here as well. A big thing for the trip, we really don't know what the weather's going to look like. It's just over a month away. We've been down there where it's been 45 degrees or 50 degrees and sunny. We've been down there where it's been 10 degrees and snowing. So there's a wide variety of things that we can see. I highly recommend an insulated boot. Tennis shoes just don't cut it on this trip. It's probably going to be dewy in the mornings, and when kids' shoes get wet and their socks get wet and it's cold out, they get cold and miserable and uncomfortable and they don't enjoy the trip. So hopefully you have some time to try to find them some insulated boots. Eagle Bluff does have some stuff down there that we can borrow, but not enough for all of the students that we'll have going down there. There is a packing list here that kind of gives you some ideas. I will be going over this with students in my room, and we'll be talking about it during advisory as well. And then we are starting to populate a frequently asked question trip. So if there's stuff that you have questions about, Mr. Bussey is still helping out with the trip. You can email him, you can email myself or Mr. Reuter, and we'll get back to you as quickly as we can. But once we get all the forms in, we're going to sort everything out. We will let you know what half of the trip you're going to be attending Eagle Bluff on or right around October 31st. We will be letting kids know who their dorm room assignments are. When we get on the bus, when we get down there, they're going to have a chance to pick one buddy to be in their dorm room. So they'll pick that before we go on the trip, but then we'll let them know the rest of their dorm room people as we get on the bus and get heading down there. If you have any questions, please reach out. My name is Mark Cernahouse. My email is listed on the questions tab. Hope it's a great trip, and hopefully we'll see some of you down there as chaperones. Thanks. Bye.